Alright, so before we get into this video, I wanted to take a second and introduce you to my new website, vehiclechief.com. Here I'll be exploring tools and accessories that I use on my channel, consulting services that you guys can hire me for, that we can chat about. Of course, news and blogs over here, and of course my car reviews. Down on the bottom here, you can see more about my services and about myself, how I got into cars, that story, and then of course my Instagram channel, which you can go ahead and follow me on, as well as my YouTube channel. So thanks again for your support. Look at this. This car needs some work, but a friend of mine from a long time ago found my channel on YouTube and reached out. I don't know when he purchased this car, but he purchased it many years ago with 4,000 miles on it. It's a 2003 Saab 9.3 convertible, and the roof, as you can see under here, the roof, one of the hydraulic lines for the roof is broken, so I'm going to take it from him and fix it, because if you look at the link like right here, I did a couple videos on it. So we're gonna take this thing. It needs a lot of work in terms of just like detail. So besides for some maintenance stuff, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna do a nice paint correction on this thing, because it sits outside and this paint is just beat up from the weather. So we're gonna bring it back to life. Look at the leather in this thing. I mean, okay, this is kind of normal, but usually these seats are just completely gone, you know? 27,000 miles, this thing looks amazing. Welcome back to the channel. Found me through YouTube, and here I am gonna help him with the Saab. It's gonna be really nice. I'm gonna be doing quite a bit of work. We got an evap leak, which I believe is all the vacuum lines on this car are rotted out, even though it's got low miles. As you know, the Saab factory used just regular rubber vacuum lines, and they obviously rot out. So we're gonna replace those with silicone lines and hope that the evap leak goes away, because I did check the unit that pumps the you know, that does the pumping for the evap system, and it works. So, you know, I just don't think it's getting the correct read on pressure because of the vacuum lines. So we're gonna fix that, and then the other thing that's going on is right now the temp sensor is working, but every once in a while that temp sensor just drops to 0, and then the air conditioning stops working because the car thinks it's overheating. So that's throwing also a check engine light, and we're going to replace the temp sensor. So that should get rid of the engine light. As far as the airbag light, that was just like a self-inflicted wound on this car, and a Tech 2 will take care of that. So the gentleman that owns the car actually purchased the Tech 2, and he's just going to reset that light when it comes in. So in terms of that light, we're not touching it, which is fine with me. We're going to get rid of the check engine light. We're going to fix the convertible light, convertible top, and then lastly on the inside is we're going to fix this. We're going to fix this shifter knob. As you can see, the cover is missing. Very common on these Saabs. Next, let's remove this panel inside and take this key out, because that is annoying. Something else to fix here. Not a big deal. Okay, so we found the line. Here it is. This is the busted line. And after doing some feeling around, if you see the cylinder head right there, you see this right here? That's where the line broke off of. I've replaced that one before on my Saab, so I know how to get to it. I have to essentially, if you watch the video up in this corner, put this back, and I have to take the entire bag out and access the lines, pop a new one in. Outside of that, car looks decent. All right, guys, so the next thing we're gonna do here, all these vacuum lines are literally falling apart. You see that? Just completely cracking. So we're gonna replace these one by one with new vacuum line. All right, so you guys can see what I'm doing. You see this sensor here? It's got two hoses that go to it, a top and a bottom. The bottom one goes to like where the fuel rail is over here. There's like another plug in. And then from over here, this guy comes around and goes to that top one. And then this one that I just pulled goes to here, which is right on the throttle body. You guys want to see what a old Saab with 27,000 miles looks like underneath? This is like factory new under here. Look at this. Look at this. Brand new. Look at that exhaust. It's like not even touched. 27,000 miles. I guess my Saab with 160,000 doesn't look so bad. And here's your pan. As you can see here, it looks pretty dry, thankfully. Now here's the oil, here's the transmission, but this is just incredible. Figured you guys would want to see this while I'm under here changing the oil. Stay tuned for this entire video, guys. I know I'm gonna be doing a lot of work, and this video may be like 15 or 20 minutes long because I'm gonna condense this all. So we just did our first wash on this. We are literally just scratching the surface. Just kidding. But yeah, we are just scratching the surface. This thing, even though it's got 27,000 miles on it, unfortunately this thing's been sitting outside for the last 16 years of its life. So as you saw in the door jamb there, and all over the car is tree residue, whether it's sap or pollen buildup for many years. I mean, obviously this car's been cleaned, it's been driven a little bit, but needs some help. We got some paint fade over here on this side, and as you can see on the spoiler here, we got some paint clear coat peelage. So when we're done, I hope to actually sand that down and repaint it, since the paint is actually still there. I mean, but then again, on this side, you can tell it's been less weathered than the driver's side, I guess because of the way the sun was directed the last 16 years of its life. I mean, look at those, look at this. These things are brand new from the factory still. Look at the calipers, they look brand new. And then obviously the inside of the rotor, or inside of the rim, you can see it's not too badly stained. I'll probably end up going in there and clean them all out. The more you work at it, the more you find. But in here, I cleaned it. This was all black. This whole thing was black. I just power washed it clean. Same within here. First wash is complete. We're gonna go ahead and do a clay bar. Make sure everything is off the surface, and then we'll do a buff. And then from there, we'll do a degrease wash. Make sure everything's off in terms of wax from the buffing pad, compound pad, and go ahead and throw a ceramic coat. As you can see in just this shot alone, the paint is already in good shape. We're just going to 10x it from here. This thing is going to look literally showroom perfect. The other thing that I noticed is that the car, the engine is rotating a little bit. I guess the age, whether it's I mean, obviously it doesn't have the miles, but the age of the rubber rotting and whatnot, you know, you can feel the engine mount loose. It's common on these 9.3s, especially since there's only 3 mounting points, unfortunately. So we'll fix that. Hydraulic engine mount, vacuum lines, we did the oil change, and the detail is really the main work. The longest parts of this job, sorry for the camera there, the longest parts is obviously this paint correction and the hydraulic line. I mean, I gotta take out that entire backside, as you've all seen before in my videos. It's pretty labor intensive. So I'm excited because this car is freaking awesome. It's got a cool story behind it, and I hope, I'm asking you, Tony, if you're watching this video, put this car in the garage when I give it back to you. All right, guys, so stay tuned.